It's such a pleasure to have all of you here. Every year we do this, it's a very different group. And I think it's important for us to ensure that we always have a different group. So when we did it in Ottawa, of course, we had a lot more of the politicians, government, students, and that was very important. We also had representation from across Canada getting more involved with the regulatory and the government side of things. We chose Whistler because our theme this year is resiliency. And I think Mayor Crompton has summarized it quite nicely. You know, why I chose this as the resiliency spot, and why it's important while we're here to understand some of the challenge statements that can be presented by Mayor Crompton tomorrow with David Dodge in the fireside chat. We as a group can solve so many of the issues. There's challenges and opportunities in our space right now, and they're all solvable. And it's not really technology holding us back right now. It is a movement, it's an understanding, and most importantly, it's education and awareness. You're going to be hearing from Julia Britta Pound this morning on our value chain results, and I am so proud of what we have done with that. If you leave this room without a better understanding of the decentralized energy space, where we're going, what innovations are happening after Julia's session, then a wolf will be taking you out back and beating you up, because she's fantastic. She's done great work. So we're going to walk through a little bit of the program today so you have an understanding of where this was born, how we came up with this program. I'm using my little QR code. Yeah, so just in case you didn't understand that you use your camera, put it on the QR code, and the program comes up. So we're starting with an opening keynote from someone I have so much respect for, Gary Holden, who has pioneered change in Canada and New Zealand and carries on pioneering change at a rate that he needs to be cloned like 400 times and spotted around the world so that everyone can pick up the pace and get with this. So I won't say anything more about that because he's a brilliant speaker. Then we're going to go into the rediscovering the business of energy. A lot of people don't understand that a municipality and a hospital can do business together in the energy world. We have things like peer-to-peer energy trading, transactive energy, community generation. That's changing the way we produce, buy, and sell energy. So that session will be a major eye-opener on what's going on there. And you're going to have to yank me off cheating, probably, because I'll talk too much. Then you're going to hear, and actually I'm so proud of the pitch presenters. We have 8 entrepreneurs pitching this year. This is possibly, hands down, not possibly, the best quality of pitch presenters we've ever had. It's super exciting, it's very diverse, and they're all high quality. And we've got investors here, we've got business partners here. They will walk away with business, more than just investment. They will walk away with business partners. Scaling innovation. So again, a very active part of our job at Decentralized Energy Canada is finding innovators, finding those pitch presenters, finding out what's the latest and greatest, working with the municipalities, universities, schools, and understanding where these innovators are going to come from. And are they equipped with the right information to get their business off the ground? And again, I'm going to say it again, marketing and communications, raising awareness of what decentralized energy is extremely important and lacking, sorely lacking right now. People don't understand what Decentralized Energy Canada does. Oil and gas think we're renewables. Renewables think we're oil and gas. Then there's quite a few that still think we're off-grid energy systems. So it's really difficult when it's a complex topic like this to help people understand that it's really about taking your energy away from resources and putting the energy systems closer to where it's needed, embedding your energy systems close to the loads. That is fundamentally what Decentralized Energy Canada is all about. And there are many benefits that come along with this, and Julia will talk a bit about that. There are many challenges that come along with this, and the rest of the program is going to cover most of those challenges. So scaling innovation, sorry about that. That's where we talk about how we can equip people with the right and get them ready to commercialize, to grow, and there's still gaps. We're not supporting our innovation ecosystem very well in Canada. There are places that are very well supported, and there are places that are sorely lacking, and that session will go through that. We'll talk about the Vancouver Airport's incredible progress in terms of deploying microgrids, and so that will be an interesting fireside chat with Frédéric Morisset. Valuing demand response. So just so you know, before you go into that session, that is about utilities saying to consumers, help us improve the health and performance of our distribution grid. Every house, every hospital, every school needs to rely on the distribution grid. When that grid is stressed, congested, problems, there are things that the consumer can do to prevent a blackout, prevent congestion, optimize the performance and health of that distribution network. That session is all about, it's critically important that we understand what's going on in that session, and I think we have 4 of the best brains in Canada here to share information with you. The business matchmaking, oh, this is gonna stress all of us out, but you're gonna love it. It's gonna be fantastic. I don't know if I'll go through, I'll just quickly blast through day 2, because today is really setting the context, the framework. Tomorrow's going to be delving into some more spiritual at the beginning. We're going to start by talking about leveling the playing field. How can we deal with our energy transition in a way that reflects the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's principles? And so we will have a conversation to kick off the day that I think is going to broaden our minds into a very different place, be comfortable with it, let it roll over, take the information. You might find at the end, you go, I don't really understand. And then a week from now, you're going to go, oh, that makes total sense. I completely understand what was going on there. And that happened last year. We had a conversation about equality and accessibility and Indigenous and non-Indigenous communications. And people at the end were like, I don't know what I got out of that. And then I was getting emails for months saying, oh, that comment keeps coming back to me, and I keep hearing it in my head, and I keep going back to it. So be ready to expand your brain tomorrow. And then we go into the labor of love, which is a very important session because we are at a state of emergency in Canada for accessing skilled workforce. And there's a number of things that Mark Czapesky and Luisa De Silva are going to talk about. They're extremely talented at this, so let them take you on a journey of where we've come from in terms of accessing skilled workforce, what's missing right now, and what strategies can be used to help us fix that problem. And then we'll hear from the other pitch presenters, and then designing resilient prosumers. Now this is probably one that we're gonna need the audience to ask some questions on this one, because a prosumer is someone who generates and consumes their own energy. So if a hospital has a natural gas combined heat and power unit, they are a prosumer. If you have a solar panel on your roof, you are a prosumer. What happens when a whole community starts to integrate prosumers is quite mind-boggling. So your architects, your city planners, your community planners, your electrical engineers, your electric vehicle charging people, they need to understand all of those pieces in order for you to design a resilient community. And I haven't even talked about extreme weather. I don't want to. We all know about it. Blah, 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 blah. It's very expensive. And totally unsustainable. So if we are not building resilient communities and energy systems, we are hooped. Okay, so this is so exciting, because quantum computing. I started hearing people, it was David Yip-Tong, started talking about quantum computing, and I was like, well, what is it, David? And he's like, wow, you know, it's a very powerful way for processing data. I'm like, yeah, but why is it different from traditional computing? Classic computing. He says, well, because it needs a lot more data sets. And I'm like, what do you mean, like data? It's like data nodes. You need to source your data from very diverse sources, and it needs to be a lot of data. And I'm like, you're talking microgrids. You're talking decentralized. You're talking virtual power plants. Everything you've just said there, we're not talking quantum computing, but now we are. So tomorrow afternoon, we get a Quantum Computing 101. What is the difference between classic computing and quantum computing? What could benefit the decentralized energy industry, and what could really, if we use it wrong, it's going to shoot our energy consumption through the roof. If we use it right, it'll bring down the power consumption needs of data centers by a magnitude. But we need to understand what it is. We need to have realistic expectations about the maturity of the technology. And tomorrow we start diving into that. And then we go right into the gigawatts of data to talk about how much data is needed for energy, decentralized energy, how much power is needed, and how much energy is needed. So the two kind of perspectives. You need a lot of data for decentralized energy, which means you need a lot of power. How are we going to make both of those sustainable and resilient? And I think with that, that gives you a little walkthrough of what we're going to be doing for the next 2 days. And you need to network and talk to each other. And it's, again, this whole room could solve all of our energy problems. You should have yanked me off ages ago.